Sometimes the world feels too loud, yet here, sitting quietly, it almost feels like the chaos outside has forgotten about me. The chatter, the clinking of glasses, the footsteps, all just a soft murmur behind a transparent curtain of calm. And for a few moments, I can breathe. I came here thinking I just needed dinner, but maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's a pause from everything that demands my attention. The constant ringing of phones, the notifications, the messages piling up like invisible weight. People talk about needing social interaction, but I wonder if I sometimes need disconnection more. There's a subtle difference between loneliness and solitude. One suffocates, the other restores. And tonight, I crave restoration. The menu in front of me is colorful, filled with choices, yet none of it matters as much as this moment. I watch the waiter glide gracefully between tables, their movements precise, practiced, almost like a dance. A couple laughs softly nearby, their joy effortless, spilling into the air, yet it doesn't touch me. I am present but separate, like observing a world that continues without pause, yet feeling the heartbeat of life in its small corners. I remember nights when restaurants felt different, louder, filled with purpose and people I wanted to impress or please. Now the purpose is simpler: to sit, to watch, to think. And the memories surface, fleeting conversations that ended too quickly, smiles that didn't linger, laughter that was polite rather than genuine. The world was always moving too fast, but here time slows. The silence is not empty, it's full of reflection, of noticing what often passes unseen. Ordering food feels like more than hunger. It feels like choice. Every decision, small or large, reflects who I am, what I want to feel, even if momentary. Sometimes the simplicity of a glass of water, a plate of pasta, or a slice of bread becomes a meditation. And while the menu tempts with elaborate dishes, I realize what I'm hungry for isn't food, it's awareness. Awareness of self, of surroundings, of the minute details often ignored. The light above the table casts soft shadows across the surface, and for a moment I noticed how ordinary everything seems, yet how extraordinary it feels when looked at closely. The rim of the glass, the texture of the wooden table, the faint reflection of the ceiling lights on the polished floor, they are small miracles ignored by those in a hurry. Here I notice. Here I see. People around me chatter, laugh, argue softly, yet their voices become part of a rhythm I don't need to join. It's like standing outside a river, feeling its current without diving in. I sip water slowly, each swallow deliberate, almost ceremonial. Each movement is a reminder that I exist in this moment, not rushing, not demanding, not performing. I think of previous nights spent in this exact routine, yet always distracted. The phone buzzing endlessly, the mind wandering to tasks unfinished. Here, at this table, even though the menu tempts with variety, I feel the appeal of nothingness, the space between things. Solitude isn't emptiness, it's fertile. It allows thoughts to grow without interference, ideas to take root, dreams to speak softly. The aroma of freshly baked bread drifts toward me, and I realize that even mundane sensations can evoke nostalgia. The smell reminds me of kitchens from childhood, of laughter echoing across tiled floors, of evenings that felt endless. Yet now I embrace that nostalgia without longing to relive it. It exists, alive in memory, while I remain here, fully present. I notice the small interactions, The way a spoon glints in a soft light, the careful step of someone placing a plate down, the slight nod exchanged between strangers at a nearby table. Moments like this are fleeting, yet meaningful. Life is composed of such micro-experiences, each one passing, each one shaping quietly. And I sit here, quietly acknowledging them, letting their presence remind me that observation can be its own form of participation. I reflect on the constant pressure to perform, to engage, to produce outcomes. Here none of that exists. No expectations, no judgment, no deadlines. Just me, just thoughts, sensations, and breathing. There is liberation in this solitude, an inner dialogue unrestrained, a conversation with the self without interruption. And I realize that these quiet meals are sacred, many retreats carved out of the chaos of life. The hours slip quietly, unnoticed by most, yet each second carries weight. I watch shadows lengthen on the floor, the faint reflection of lights flicker across the table, and I feel a strange mix of melancholy and gratitude. Time moves fast, yet here it stretches, slow enough for every thought, every memory, every feeling to breathe fully. The last bites of the meal remind me how simple pleasures can ground us. Flavors are more vivid when experienced alone, when the mind is uncluttered by small talk or distractions. There is a purity in savoring food without the expectation of conversation, of performance, of approval. Each chew becomes a meditation, a gentle acknowledgement of being alive, fully and unapologetically. I think about the countless nights spent chasing achievements, chasing people's approval, chasing moments that, in retrospect, never mattered. And here, in this quiet corner of a crowded restaurant, I understand that life is more subtle. It's in the quiet pauses, in observing, in reflecting. Achievements are fleeting. Applause is temporary, but awareness lasts. Awareness connects us to ourselves, even when the world is loud. The laughter nearby fades into the background, and I no longer envy it. I realize that happiness isn't in the volume of life around me, but in the depth of attention I pay to the present. The subtle hum of music, the aroma of the kitchen, the soft clink of cutlery. All of it forms a symphony, a personal orchestra for those willing to listen. Even solitude carries hope. It teaches patience, observation, and acceptance. From this quiet table, I glimpse my own potential, the life I can shape not by forcing connections or chasing recognition, but by being present, mindful, deliberate. There is a kind of courage in simply sitting here, facing my thoughts, and letting them exist without judgment or interference. Eventually the night will end, and the world will rush back. The phones will ring, the notifications will arrive, the obligations will demand attention once more. But for now, I remain here, savoring silence, embracing solitude, and allowing my mind to wander freely. I rise slowly, leaving behind an empty plate and a full mind, stepping out into the night with a quiet gratitude. The chaos outside hasn't disappeared, but something has changed within me. I am still present, still aware, still alive. And for tonight, that is enough.